Get ready, Staten Island. It's time to celebrate 5 years of Ferry Hawks baseball.
Tuesday, May 19th at 10:30 a.m., it's morning baseball. Wednesday, May 20th at 6:30 p.m., have a pawsome time at Bark in the Park. Thursday, May 21st at 6:30, it's Pride Night with $5 Bud or Bud Light draft beer. Individual game tickets start at just $12.
Visit ferryhawks.com now to lock in your seats.
I did want to talk about this. This was a big story last week. And, you know, I mean, the way stories go, it could be the huge story of the week. And then the next week, it's kind of just gone. People aren't really talking about it anymore. It's this Chud the Builder thing. Dalton Etherly is his real name, Dalton. Because just calling him Chud, that seems silly. And this definitely isn't a silly circumstance that everyone's dealing with. I'm definitely not going to get into the is he right or wrong about this. You know, everyone has their own ideas about this guy and what he's been doing. If you don't know, I don't know what rock you've been under, but obviously he's been walking around and dropping N-bombs on black people as he walks through certain cities, towns, and whatnot. A lot of racial epithets and racially based insults. And his take is, I'm just trying to show that we don't have freedom of speech, and that if you say certain words, you will get your ass handed to you. Some people think that's perfectly fine. Other people don't think you should pay with violence or your life in some circumstances just for uttering a word. So that's pretty much what's been going on. This guy Dalton, he carried a gun and bear spray. And whenever anyone would get so offended at what he's saying to the point where they felt they ought to hit him, he would use the bear spray on him. And last week, he felt that somebody started beating on him, actually throwing punches at him. And he pulled out a gun and shot the man that he said was assaulting him. It's all alleged at this point. We really don't have all that much information on this. It's very sparse. I haven't heard any witnesses. I've heard from him. There's a audio recording of Dalton speaking to the cops because he inadvertently shot himself while he was trying to shoot the offended gentleman that was punching him. All alleged. So he talked to the cops, which, yeah, if there's any lawyers listening, you know what I'm going to say. What are you doing? What are you doing? I don't care how right you feel you are in a circumstance, a legal situation. You don't say anything. You do not say a word to anybody. Lawyer. That's what you say. Lawyer. I want to speak to my lawyer. Because even if you're saying things that you think are advantageous to a case that you are definitely going to have in the future, they can turn things around. The prosecution can take anything you say, can and will be used against you in a court of law. That's very important. Not only it can, or it might, or this, it will. Well, I didn't say anything that doesn't make me look anything but innocent. Oh, really? How about that? Because the prosecution has a completely different take on what you said, whether it's your alibi, your excuse for doing what you did, how you did it, why you did. All this stuff can and will be used against you in a court of law. So keep your trap shut. Also, the self-defense aspect of this whole thing, because this is really what it's all about. Dalton, I believe, will try to say this was self-defense in a court. And once you do that, you're pretty much saying you did it. That's the whole thing of a self-defense case. Yes, I shot this guy, but here are the circumstances, and here's why the law is on my side, and this was self-defense. So if your self-defense case caves in on you, you pretty much confessed to the murder or wounding, as it was in this case. He didn't kill the guy that was attacking him. So a self-defense case is tricky. It's you have to have a number of criteria that come into play. You know, you cannot have been the aggressor. You must have absolutely felt that your life was in imminent danger of being taken. There are other ones, too, that are very important to the self-defense, to that defense, the self-defense defense. But from what I'm hearing, a lot of people their opinion is that he doesn't have a chance in hell, all based on what he was doing, not just on that day, not just when it happened, but his record of being a provocateur and one of these guys that walks around trying to piss people off until they take a swing at him or do whatever. He's made a lot of incendiary comments on social media. He has said things to the effect of, the only way this ends is with somebody of color being dead on the ground in front of me. So, you know, all of these things are going to be taken into consideration. And I'm certain the defense is going to try its best to keep these things out, saying that what he said and what he was doing online and on social media doesn't have any relevance to the circumstance that led to him shooting somebody. It doesn't matter what he said. What matters is what transpired between these two men on that day at that moment. And saying that somebody's speech, what they're saying, is a valid reason to resort to physical, hands-on violence. That's a very emotional thing. This whole case is very emotionally charged. You have the race angle in there. You have the First Amendment, the Second Amendment's in there. So emotion, while it's supposed to not have a place in a courtroom, you're dealing with evidence and facts, and what happened, not how you feel, the emotion that this brings out in people. So you have to pretty much be of the mindset that if someone says something to you that you find offensive, you have a right in some way, shape, or form to physically harm that person. And that starts this case off. Again, you cannot, in a self-defense case, you as the person that used the weapon in self-defense can't be the instigator. You can't have started it. Now, does verbally offending someone fall into that criteria of starting the problem? That's what's going to be argued. I don't think it rises to the occasion. I think the law dictates that you can say things. There might be consequences. You could get punched in the face. Most people would say, yeah, that guy deserves to be punched in the face. But legally, does that person have a right to punch you after you've just said something that offends you? That's the big, big part of this, because that's what started the whole thing between these two men that ended with Dalton shooting the guy.